The starship Aurora's Wrath drifted silently through the void of space, its sleek metallic hull reflecting the faint light of a distant sun. Captain Cale Veyron stood on the observation deck, his sharp amber eyes scanning the endless expanse of stars. He was an imposing figure, tall, broad-shouldered, and clad in the crimson armor that marked him as one of the galaxy's most feared bounty hunters. Yet tonight, he seemed unusually pensive. "Captain," came a voice from behind him. It belonged to Zenara, his second-in-command and closest confidant. Her violet skin shimmered faintly under the dim lights, and her long, pointed ears twitched slightly as she approached. "We've received confirmation from the Galactic Council. The target has been located." Kyle turned slowly, his expression unreadable. "And where is it?" he asked, his deep voice carrying a note of restrained curiosity. Zainara hesitated for just a moment before answering. "Earth," she said finally. "Sector 3.12b, a small blue planet orbiting a yellow dwarf star." Cale raised an eyebrow. "Earth? That primitive rock barely qualifies as a civilization. What could they possibly have done to warrant this level of attention?" "The reports are troubling," Zenara admitted, pulling up a holographic display. Images flickered into existence between them, scenes of devastation, pollution, warfare, and suffering. They call themselves humans. In less than 10,000 years, a blink of an eye by galactic standards, they've managed to destroy much of their own ecosystem, wage countless wars, and develop weapons capable of annihilating entire planets. And yet, she paused, glancing at Cale. Despite all their flaws, they've also shown remarkable resilience and creativity. They're unpredictable, adaptable, and relentless. Kyle studied the images carefully, his jaw tightening. So, they're dangerous. But why label them the worst species in the galaxy? Surely there are others far more destructive. Zenara nodded, grimly. "True. But what sets humans apart isn't just their capacity for destruction. It's their indifference. They knowingly harm their environment, exploit each other, and show little regard for consequences until it's too late. The Council believes they pose a threat, not only to themselves, but potentially to the rest of the galaxy, if left unchecked." Cale crossed his arms, his mind racing. "And our mission?" "To assess the situation firsthand," Zenara replied. "If necessary, we are authorized to neutralize the threat permanently." The Aurora's Wrath entered Earth's atmosphere undetected, cloaked by advanced technology far beyond human comprehension. As they descended, Kyle peered out the viewport, taking in the sight of sprawling cities, vast oceans, and lush forests. Despite the warnings, there was a strange beauty to the planet, a chaotic harmony that intrigued him. Their landing site was a remote desert region, chosen for its lack of human activity. Once on the ground, Cale led a small team wearing disguised suits that made them appear human. Their first stop was a bustling metropolis called New York City, a place teeming with life and noise. As they wandered the streets, Cale observed everything with detached fascination. Humans were a curious blend of contradictions, capable of both incredible kindness and shocking cruelty. He saw acts of generosity, strangers helping one another, families laughing together, artists creating works of breathtaking beauty. But he also witnessed greed, anger, and despair. People shouted at each other over trivial matters, ignored those in need, and polluted their surroundings without a second thought. One evening, while sitting alone in a quiet park, Cale encountered a young girl named Mia. She couldn't have been older than 10, with wide brown eyes and a mop of unruly curls. She sat beside him on the bench, clutching a tattered stuffed animal. "Are you okay, mister?" she asked innocently. Kyle blinked, caught off guard by the question. "I'm fine," he said after a moment. "Why do you ask?" You looked sad, Mia replied simply. My mom says when people look sad, you should talk to them. For reasons he couldn't explain, Kyle found himself smiling. Your mom sounds like a wise woman, Mia grinned. She is. She works really hard to take care of me and my brother. Her smile faltered slightly. But sometimes, I think she's tired. Do you ever get tired, mister? Kyle hesitated. Yes, he admitted softly. Sometimes. They sat in silence for a while, watching the sun dip below the horizon. For the first time, in years, Cale felt something stir within him, a flicker of doubt about the mission. Back aboard the Aurora's Wrath, tensions ran high. Zainara had gathered data confirming humanity's destructive tendencies, presenting graphs and charts that painted a damning picture. But Cale remained conflicted. They're flawed, yes, he argued during a heated briefing. But so are many species. Across the galaxy. Why single them out for extermination? Because they're accelerating towards self-destruction, Zainara countered. And once they exhaust their resources, they'll turn to others. We can't risk allowing them to spread further into the galaxy. But what about their potential? Kyle pressed. Have you considered the possibility that they might change? That they could learn from their mistakes? Zainara sighed, her expression softening. Hope is a luxury we can't afford, Captain. Our duty is clear. Cale fell silent, staring at the holographic projection of Earth, spinning gently in the center of the room. He thought of Mia, of her innocent questions and unwavering optimism. Could he truly condemn an entire species based on the actions of some? In the end, Cale made his decision. He addressed the crew, his voice steady and resolute. We will not carry out the Council's order. Humanity may be flawed, but they are not beyond redemption. If given the chance, they might surprise us all. There were murmurs of dissent, but ultimately the crew respected Cale's authority. Together, they devised a plan to subtly guide humanity toward a better path, not through force, but through subtle influence and encouragement. As the Aurora's Wrath departed Earth's orbit, Cale gazed back at the blue-green orb one last time. Perhaps the humans weren't the worst species in the galaxy after all. Or perhaps they were simply the most human. Only time would tell.